PGEN 2012, which is the top treatment that you can see here in Precigen's pipeline, is under review by the FDA at the moment, and if approved, which will likely take place in and around mid-2025 or late 2025, is the catalyst that I'm talking about, which will see the price skyrocket. And you can see right here that a number of analysts project that the share price for Precigen will range between $5 to $7. If Precigen becomes subject to an acquisition by a larger pharmaceutical company, which may well happen simply because the treatment PGEN 2012, which is a sought-after treatment for a significant unmet need. And so with that in mind, the price could be actually a little bit higher than the $5 to $7 projected by these financial analysts. One thing to consider as well is this comment that you can see up on the screen now, made by Detonator96. No way in hell PGEN hits $20 to $30 a share. There are too many shares outstanding at this point. I think $20 a share max, and it's probably unlikely. I'm hoping for $10 to $12. And this is a hugely valuable point made by Detonator96, and I think certainly any shareholder of PGEN who is probably kind of trying to work out when they might exit, you know, are they going to exit at the point of approval by the FDA of PGEN 2012, if that does happen, or are they going to hold on and wait for an acquisition? But certainly factoring in these projections, which I think are far more realistic, one side of me is starting to look at new opportunities. You know, part of my strategy right now is to find, if you like, the next PGEN opportunity and cycle out the profits out of PGEN and put them all, or, you know, dollar cost average in at prices, and again I'll go into more details about this in future videos, into a new opportunity to kind of almost see if I can kind of like 5x my returns from this PGEN investment. You know, I'm constantly kind of looking at stock prices and trying to find kind of opportunistic entry points. You know, typically if there's a problem, some bad news, a dilution in some cases, I will try and make entries in those points in, you know, pharma companies that I really believe in, pharma companies where I've done a level of kind of research and a cross-examination. CureVac is one of these ones that I'm looking at the moment. The price seems quite high. One of the interesting things around that is that this kind of seems to be a seasonal high that takes place. You know, there've been kind of recent reportings of human cases of bird flu that have caused the share price to increase very recently as well. And this is simply because of their pipeline. You know, when you look at the treatments on their pipeline, you can see that they have a whole host of different treatments focused around, you know, influenza or seasonal flu, avian flu. As soon as there are reports of these kind of things, there seems to be a response by shareholders, by investors, even though some of these treatments haven't yet been brought to market. And so Dietmar Hopp and family have a net worth of 5.1 billion, and he uses a holding company called Dividend Hopp Holding Company as an investment vehicle to invest in a number of different pharmaceutical companies, one of them being CureVac. And so you can see right here, Dividend Hopp Biotech Holding hold 31.3% of CureVac. And if you look further, you can also see that Dietmar Hopp holds 6% personally of CureVac as well. So going back to some of the shareholders of CureVac, you can see that GlaxoSmithKline are one of the other major shareholders of CureVac. You can see here GSK PLC holds 7.4% of CureVac. You can also see that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation also have a smaller holding of 0.7% of CureVac as well. And so again, this is kind of one of the other things that I'm looking at when I am potentially investing, is to look at the major players involved in the stock. And it's not just shareholders. If you look at the partnerships part of their website, that again you can see up on the screen now, you can also see that they have partnerships with the likes of CRISPR Therapeutics and Harvard Medical as well. And so if you look at the pipeline of their website, they have 4 treatments in phase 2 at the moment. You can see that they have the seasonal influenza. They have 2 variants of this. They also have an avian flu, which is the bird flu vaccine candidate, and another one down here that you can see for a well-known virus too. And it's when these treatments have moved over to phase 3 and are gradually approaching potential approval by the FDA so that they can then be marketed and sold to the public, the share price increases. And these are the core ingredients I'm looking for any kind of pharmaceutical company that I'm potentially going to invest in. I'm looking at companies with high inside ownership, with critical leaders with big pedigree in their field, individuals that have made billions, or at least, you know, hundreds of millions, or at least millions, tens of millions in the pharmaceutical industry, because that gives me an idea of their pedigree. I might look into their background a little bit as well. And these are all things that I'm doing to kind of vet the credibility of the company. And so I'm looking at those things. Then I'm looking at the pipeline like I've just walked through with you now. And I'm kind of looking at the pipeline for treatments stepping into phase 3, because this is a pattern I've noticed where as treatments get into phase 3, as they gradually stepping closer to getting approval by the FDA and developing products, treatments that are about to be commercialized and sold with a large market share, that this is where there's the big opportunity to make money, because it's at that time that the share price spikes, because these companies go through a transition of potentially not having any products to sell, not having any products on the market, to then having products or treatments available to a public that are ready to be commercialized and sold. One of the things with CureVac, as much as they kind of fit all the criteria that I typically look for me to make an entry is too expensive right now. Typically, I would be looking at an entry at under $3, I think, for this stock. I'll make another video very soon. It should follow this one. And I'll just break down some more of the stocks that I'm tracking at the moment. Like with this one, there will be ones that aren't necessarily at the right price, but they're really good companies like CureVac, which again, I'm just keeping an eye on, because there will be opportunities in the future with that. Naturally, I will keep you updated, because the stock market is always changing. There are new opportunities kind of all the time, or as soon as I find some, I will let you know on this channel as well. But look, thanks very much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.